looking at?
OMG, please, please, please note sometimes this podcast isn't for the kids. Listener discretion is advised. If you are looking for Russian language lessons,
Now? A podcast that's only about Star Trek?
a code to save 15% online at Sephora.
Do you actually have that? Because I want that. No. Okay. Or if you're looking for a podcast that is family friendly for all your road trip needs, we somehow have 42 episodes now, so you could get across the country and back, depending on the country.
Then sadly,
this is
not the podcast for you.
I said podcast.
That's Haley. I'm Sarah. And resistance is futile, bitches. Oh my God, we got a round table. Round table.
Round table.
Oh God, people are just
no one.
I just off,
why
like...
does why does anyone? I mean, I enjoy it when I think back, but I don't know. I don't know how anyone else tolerates it. I don't know that anyone actually does.
No, this is
all right.
You got no listeners, not even your parents anymore.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for listening to Chain of Command, the worst one. Like, and by worst, I mean best, because it was really like the best episode. But like I said, so many things that they should not know that I know about. War 69. You talking about how you had a crush on my dad? He didn't even bring that up. I was like, okay, I don't know. Fuck.
Oh God.
We just listen. Oh my God, we should listen. We won't. But we should do a reaction video to Chain of Command. I don't know.
We should.
It should be a podcast.
TikTok.
I hate myself.
Tack.
Active.
God, okay. So what's going on? We've got round table. This is where this is the non-Trek related, obviously. Do you want me to go first? I'll go first.
I do, yeah.
I have a question for you. Have you watched Jury Duty yet on Amazon Prime?
So we watched the first episode. So James Marsden, whatever, what a guy. Like I recognize him from, the movies, but what a guy. Like he plays such a great, it's great.
You just see the first episode.
Just the first one, because like it's kind of hard to believe that the guy doesn't know, but I also feel like he probably doesn't know.
Yeah. I finished it yesterday. It gets a little like it's worth it just to go through it and watch it. Just watch the whole thing. It's great. James Marsden is hilarious.
Awesome.
The only other person I recognize is actually a member of the jury, and he was a character on Parks and Recreation.
SOA? Oh, maybe.
But he looks like, if you're thinking of the guy, the tall one with the dark shaggy hair, like the older one. Yeah, he worked in the sanitation department on Parks and Recreation.
No way.
Brad knocked him out of the park. He was like, that guy's like, I would totally know, that's an actor right there too. But
so funny.
It's super funny. It's super cute. It's worth, if you get like a little bored in the middle, just keep going. It's great.
Okay, great.
They seal it up. Like it's really
nice.
fun. And those who are listening, this is a mockumentary style comedy show where it's about jury duty, and the thing is that everybody is actors. All of it's fake except for one guy in real life who thinks that he's actually doing jury duty, and it's just everyone's in on it except for this poor guy. You can see them like kind of breaking sometimes in the background, like giggling, and they're like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. So
yeah, awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to watching more.
Other than that, as spoken in the Patreon, I've been working on my tennis lessons. I just finished my Reiki level 1 training. I'm doing this Biggest Loser contest right now. It goes until June 30th. I'm down 7 pounds already. I've been working my ass off. I'm like working out every day, doing tennis, doing golf. I'm doing Weight Watchers with my food. Um, I walk the dog. Like I have to get at least 20. I try to get 20,000 steps a day. It's usually between 15 and 20. And then I do a workout video at least once a
Jesus,
day.
mother, I cannot get that in.
I feel amazing, which is great.
Yay.
And we're going camping in a couple weeks. 2 weeks, the 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th. We're going to Oregon for one of those car shows we used to go to all the time. And
So
we're gonna
fun.
sleep in the car trailer because we don't have any camping equipment. And I'm like, that's cool. The car trailer is like nice and enclosed. We can fit the air mattress in there.
Perfect.
So that's
And
in
maybe like a
Oregon.
little,
And Frank.
yeah. And Frank.
And
Does
Frankie too.
anything does anything have to happen for you to bring him across the border?
No, we just have to take a picture of his food. Oh no, because it's just dry kibble. That will bring his papers to show that he's got his shots and like, but no, it's other than that. Because we took
Oh,
George.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. And we booked our trip
That's
for
good enough.
Toronto. We're going to Toronto in
T-Dot.
September to see the Blue Jays.
What dates?
And the end of September, like 20 something, whatever's around there.
On the 20th, we'll be heading to Hawaii.
What?
Woo!
Aloha.
Yaloha.
Aloha.
Talk about traveling in different directions. Or
Right?
the or to meet if you keep traveling
Yeah.
that way and I keep traveling the other way, we will meet or it'll be like this. I didn't see you.
Oh my God. I can't believe I missed that. Yeah, that's what's going on. I got the screeners for Strange New Worlds. First 6 episodes. I haven't watched one yet. I'm really excited though.
That is so
I
cool.
just
When
have to
does
find the
it?
time. I just like this time of year, I am not going to watch TV unless it's my evening show before bed kind of thing. Like it's nice out. I want a garden. I want to be outside. Like to watch.
Yeah.
Like even just to watch this was like a bit of a struggle to watch. Like Star Trek. I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't want to be in the house during the day on a weekend
Yeah, and then you don't want to, like, you usually have shows that you watch in the
at night.
evening and you don't want to take them up with
Yeah,
Star Trek. But this one was really good.
this one
Oh,
was somewhat worth
was
it.
it?
Yeah,
Somewhat.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was good.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's good. How about you? What's going on? Talk to
Um,
me.
I so I've decided so like in my paring downness, I am starting to use like bronzer for like eyeshadow, not just like bronzing and
Oh yeah.
contouring. And so it's a lot like my makeup is a lot lighter because I don't have to use so much fucking eyeshadow on me. And so just it's all about the natural beauty now.
Hmm.
And so that's been a cool revelation just in the last couple days. Um, I'm trying to learn the theme to Succession on the piano. So once that's done,
I
I'll
was
I'll
gonna
play it.
ask you if you were. I was like,
Yeah.
I really want to get a piano.
Oh, do you know how to play?
I took lessons when I was little, and then I stopped when
Yeah.
I was like 10 to start playing the flute.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, still, you know how to read music, which is like half the battle. And then if you know,
The placement on
eight,
the thing, yeah.
yeah, middle C. So that's happening, but I'm not practicing very much, so it's slow go. I was TikToking and this chick was just like, you know what? My therapist told me like the best thing the other day, or she made it up. I don't fucking know. Anyway, she was talking about like if you're feeling anxiety about the future or whatever, like you don't know what's coming, you don't know how to prepare. Everyone feels that way, I think, sometimes. And she's like, yeah, I just like pretended. A lot of mental health wellness is about pretending. Um, that she got a message from her future self saying you got everything you wanted and it'll all work out. And then she like felt the feeling, like The Secret where you feel like
Mhm.
the goodness. And then like her anxiety dropped a bit. And so I tried it too. Not that I'm like, I don't, there's stuff happening in the future for sure, but like, yeah, I just thought like, oh, it all works out. And like suddenly I'm not worried anymore for 5 minutes. It's great.
I think there's a book you should read for two reasons.
Ooh.
One, it might help you get over your fear of the moon. And two, it might help with that type of energy thoughts and stuff. It's called Moonology. I actually have the oracle cards as well. And it talks about like you get a lot of the science of the moon, like the phases of the moon and how it works and the whole like eclipses and what the new moon means versus what a full moon means, but it also talks
Yeah, I have
about
no
the
idea.
importance of using the energy of the moon to get what you want and know what you should be focusing on. If it should be time to relax, it should be time to push through and persevere, because we're more in
Mm.
sync with the moon than we think we are. Even like it's a 29-day cycle, which isn't that different from a woman, and there are different cycles. And like there's a lot of really interesting stuff that's been on in history for thousands of years where people have just paid attention to the moon. And so I just started reading it, and it's actually kind of
I could
fun.
see it. Sorry, I just looked outside and I saw
There's
it.
the full moon is on Saturday. It's the strawberry moon.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got a lot to go. Oh, I guess it's only Monday. I could just see half of it right now, hanging
It's
out,
like the waxing phase or something right
watching
now. I
me.
can't remember, but yeah.
Mhm.
But maybe the more you learn, the less you'd be scared of it.
It's true. Knowledge is power, as I like to say.
I've never heard anyone say that, but that's your thing. You should put it on a t-shirt.
John was saying, so that comes from like this meeting that John was having with this person who always would say, well, as I like to say, and then said something like very common.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's from.
Yeah. As
Anyway,
I
it
like to
doesn't
say,
matter.
have a great day.
As I like to say, with with great power comes great, well, you know the rest. Um, yeah, anyway, that's kind of all I got. Oh, I also did a little research on the fleet formation from the episode of Picard where the Borg assimilated everybody because I
Yeah,
thought
you
that
did.
the fleet formation was telling me a secret message.
Was
Nope,
it? Oh,
nope,
really?
no,
Wasn't giving you like the lotto numbers to win, or no?
no. I even went to like Memory Alpha, so no,
No.
that's it. Nothing
Okay.
doesn't mean anything.
That's all she
Nothing
wrote,
mean nothing means anything.
as I like to say. Bob's your uncle.
He is my great uncle,
Cool.
Bob,
Robert. Bobby.
Uncle Bob,
Bobby
Uncle
B.
Bob.
Um, Hi, Uncle Bob, if you're listening.
I hope
Before we
not.
go any further, let's talk about our sponsors. I'll do it. Do you want to do it?
Okay,
I'll do it. Hi.
you do it.
Okay, sure. Hello, my friends and listeners who don't know me, and then are we friends? Sure, of course we are. It's time to talk about our incredible sponsors, fan sets. You know them, you got them, you want more, you trade them with your posse. Fansets is an incredibly hardworking group of badasses who are almost always busting out fantastic new pins to add to your growing collection. And we want to help you build that biblical display by offering you a 10% discount. Just punch in Trek Geeks in all caps, one word, at checkout and enjoy that discount. Get it. On a personal note, I'm very much looking forward to seeing all their goodies and those wonderful folks in Vegas this August. I'm going to load up, so look out, elbows up. I'll be at that table shopping. Fan sets. Our pins have character.
As I like to say.
Okay, we watched The Best of Both
Uh,
Worlds.
yeah.
Full disclosure, I did not watch part two, and you'll see how I did with paying attention to part one in my synopses.
All right, let's do it.
Busted. Oh, as my work computer turns off, there we go. Just get a little tappy tap to the mouse thing there. Still online? Busy? Status set to
See,
busy.
do not disturb.
Are
Yeah.
you on Do Not Disturb? That's smart.
No, I didn't even think about doing that.
Okay. Captain's log. Too fast. I missed it. The numbers. He went fast. It starts off with ominous music, like big time. Like they want to go see some colony and there's been no response. And so the music's like, this is a big deal, more than usually, guys. So pay attention. And they beam down to the center of town and it's just like a big old hole in the ground. It's like a pit. I fell in the pit. That is a Parks and Recreation reference. Um, so then you get the opening credits, and again, I missed the number for whatever stardate this is because it's like ugh, too many numbers. We have an Admiral Hansen that's there, and Commander Shelby. But let's go back to the Admiral Hansen. Is that like a relative of Annika Hansen, aka Seven of Nine?
It's Hanson Son, and I think she's Hanson Sen.
Oh, bop. Okay, so this is their great grandson, Admiral Hansen. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And then so there's Shelby. and she's got like my grad hair. She sucks. And there is talk that the Borg are responsible for whatever's going on. And Shelby, the eager beaver, is saying that she's got plans for defense or something. I don't know. I'm already drowning here. Holy crap! The chair turning. Patrick Stewart looks so young. Holy crap!
Yeah.
He's like pretty sexy, right? Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I instantly stopped paying attention because I had to go find out how old is he during the filming of this. And so now I'm looking it up and okay, yeah, no, there is a plot here. The Admiral says that Frakes has been offered a captain position, but anyway, he's 50 years old in this episode.
Really?
Yummy. Yeah. And Frakes is just 38 years old in this episode.
What? He's just a little
Oh,
baby.
I know. Anyway, so the first half is semi-boring. Frakes is debating about Riker. For those of you who don't know, Jonathan Frakes plays Riker. He's debating about leaving because he's been given an opportunity to be a captain, and Troy is all in his face about it. And he's like, "I don't want the job. I don't, and don't call me seasoned." Meanwhile, Shelby is running around all excited and hot and bothered and wanting Frakes' job. And then the music gets tense again, and a ship is on its way to, I don't know, meet the Borg or go find a ship of distress. I got busy online shopping, didn't buy anything,
Ooh.
save my money,
Oh,
but I was
good for
tempted.
you. Yeah.
Um, oh no, it's a Borg ship. Their shields are being drained. Geordi is recalibrating and they're firing weapons. And then they try to reverse engines, but they don't move. They keep firing fancy shots. And Data is like, yeah, nothing. Their ship is fine. And then Geordi has to evacuate engineering. He does a hot drop and roll. And Shelby jumps in like she freaking owns the place and she sucks. But her plan got them released from the tractor beam I hadn't picked up on, and they warp out of there at a warp 9. The ship pursues them. We find out 11 are dead, 8 unaccounted for down in engineering. Uh, then Brad dropped some smoked pork loin in front of my face, so I lost track of the show
Oh,
again because he'd been using the smoker all day, and it looked really good, and it was really, really, really good. But I heard that Shelby wants to separate the saucer section or something at some point, so that's where she's at.
she
Um,
would.
uh, yeah, the Borg are waiting as the ship is hiding like in a really pretty purple cloud. And there's a guy in like a mustard robe working in engineering, and I don't really know what that is. I saw that through the side eye. I'm like, okay, well, it's the proper mustard color of the uniform, but it's like it has like a belt. It's a jacket. Like,
So
was he woken up in the
casual.
middle of the night and asked to start working, and he couldn't even change? Like, they're in a
Mm.
pink purple cloud. Like, they're fine. Picard goes and sees, well, he runs into Guinan, who's sitting in the corner all creepy of 10 forward. And Picard says that he's touring the ship before battle,
Hmm.
and that there's, that's a whole moment and depressing. And the Borg are now on the bridge, and Worf shoots a few of them, but they adapted to the new frequencies. Riker's thrown, Worf is down, and then Picard is taken. It's like the
Oh,
movie Taken with Liam Neeson, but with Borg. The special effects are very 1990
oh.
in a good way. Like
Okay.
it's fun to watch. And then you get like a really good close up of the carpet. Like, oh god, like that carpet, like the colors, like everything is screaming 1990, and it's so beautiful. Worf is running up to his station. Riker's back up. They're pursuing because, well, they stole the captain. O'Brien can't get a lock on Picard. Riker sounds defeated. They are all
Mm.
going to Sector 001, the Terran system, which is Earth, because that's where the Borg are going. Picard is walked through the Borg ship, and you get to see the full size and scope of the big square. He says
Yeah.
he will fight. They say resistance is futile. It's so epic. He has chosen to be, they've chosen him to be the voice that like lures humans. And oh snap, Riker is going to spank Troy later for her reminding him that his place is on the bridge when he wants to go get him back. Oh
It's
snap.
true.
It was a moment. There was some heat up in there. It was good. Bev et al. Go to the ship to get the captain, and he's aboard now. Bye. Um, Data holds back Bev as Worf runs to him, but he's zapped because there's a force field, and Shelby beams them out. They're on the ship, and Riker's like, "Yo, where's my boy at?" And Worf's like, "He is a Borg." They argue. Riker wants to fire. Shelby wants to talk to the Admiral about coming back or going after him. The Borg ship is calling them now. It's Patrick. He's Locutus now. Bye.
I'm Jean Shalit now. Bye. What the hell? What an episode.
Yes.
I
I
could tell
think
you
the
loved it.
reason, no, I think the reason I struggled is because I do love, like, this is the best of the split episodes in my personal opinion. I've seen it a billion times. So to
Mm,
have to watch it and try and pay attention to write a synopsis, I found to be a bit of a challenge because really I was more interested in just like this would be a great one to like embroider to and listen to the dialogue that I know so well and like look up at things. But when I actually had to like really focus on it, I was kind of like, okay, it's actually a little slow going because I know what happens.
yeah.
I know, and so it's the second episode that has more of the excitement because you have the rescue. This one's just the build up to the biggest cliffhanger in Star Trek history, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I could see how this would have been like a devastating, like the first time you watch it live and you're like, it's June. You tell me I gotta wait till the end of September to see the rest of this bad boy. Like, yeah, it's a brilliant episode. It's just for this context, it was a bit of like a
I get it.
might even
There was a
sorry.
lot of dialogue. It was like there was no, it
Yeah,
was just very dialogue heavy, very strategy focused.
the
Yeah,
soundtrack
it was.
though.
Ugh, John Williams. Yeah.
Fight me, come at me.
Prove me
Um,
wrong.
I yeah, I mean, I know ultimately that Picard is rescued.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert, right? But I don't really remember, and so I really wanted to kind of enjoy the second part by getting your take on it because I think it would be more enjoyable for me to listen to your synopses on it.
Totally. I can do that within the time allotted before we have to restart this free Zoom.
3 minutes and 24 seconds.
Yeah. So I opened up Trello, which is our note keeping application for this podcast, and I forgot that I needed to do a synopsis for part two, so I quickly did one. So, so Picard continues his identity crisis as Locutus. He's like, what do I even like anymore? Earl Grey tea or the Collective's 100% Arabica beans espresso? And I say, why not both? And then I remember the Borg probably don't even have a kettle or mugs. He's
No.
in a bad way. Meanwhile, they're still on their they're still on their way to Earth, and the Admiral, who's had a haircut since the previous season, thank God, is still somehow in charge of the whole deal. Everyone's meeting at Wolf 359, including presumably a young ensign. Shaw, would he have been an ensign?
Yeah, or he like a yeah, I can't remember what he
Commander?
said.
I don't remember
Better.
either. Anywho's,
He was just a dipshit from Chicago.
he was just there. Why did they save him?
Also there would be Captain Benjamin Sisko's wife.
Did she?
That's the first episode of Deep Space Nine is you get the stink eye from Cisco at Classic Picard. I mean, he did some damage that day.
He sure did.
Whew.
Wesley's bright idea to use the deflector dish doesn't work, yet it doesn't dissuade me from still loving him. Riker's captain now and makes Shelby his second in command. I refuse to say number one because there are only two number ones. One is Riker and the other one is bathroom related.
Pete.
They get to Wolf 359 and it's a fucking wasteland. The Melbourne is adrift. Hansen is dead. They try to arrange a talk with the Borg, but the Borg refuse. However, in doing so, the Enterprise is able to locate Locutus. Then, classic saucer separation, which I feel costs like millions of dollars because it's not reversible, right? And then I like looked it up and it is. Because like, why would it be not reversible? To this day, to today, I've thought that it was never reversible and that's why they always got a new ship. I just forgot that they went into all those battles and the ship got hurt. Got Hoyt. Um, Shelby suggests using the star drive section to attack the Borg, and Riker's like, bitch, please, and uses the saucer section to scatter an attack that disrupts the Borg defenses and allows Worf the opportunity to beam aboard to retrieve the captain. Anyway,
We're
welcome
back.
back. We're back. Worf, yeah, so Worf has the opportunity to retrieve the captain. So he does, and the Borg don't even give a hoot. They just keep barreling towards Earth. In an In an,
Focused.
I know. In an unnecessary nude scene, Picard breaks out of the collective.
Is
And
it?
yeah, I was like trying to like peek over. I'm like, can I see? And tells Data to get the Borg to think that they need to regenerate as a way to slow them down. Data does this, the Borg gets sleepy, and then a feedback loop builds and destroys the cube. Everyone feels shitty after, and even though the Borg are gone, it's just for now. Picard's like, that was tough, and decides not to go to therapy. The end.
I want to know why this episode didn't. This would have been like. I have an idea that takes us from being one of the best episodes ever to one of the worst. How come they didn't have Q show up and save the day? He's the one who brought the Borg into their life,
Oh
anyways.
my God, you're
If he's
right.
like, he'd be so in love with Picard, it's his bestest friend, his bestest schmensch. He should have gone
Yep.
in there and rescued him. It would have been so dumb
Oh,
though. Like what a cop
so
out. Because then
yeah,
it'd be like
totally.
every episode Q shows up and saves the day. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Hey, you guys, quit that. They're
stop,
gone.
stop, stop, stop.
Stop that.
Lovely. So
So, do you want to
yeah,
know what I thought?
I would love to know what you thought.
I fucking loved these episodes.
Yeah.
I
You
thought
had a
they were
lot of fun
great.
watching them again too,
I
didn't you?
really, I really did. And you know what? I think it's because as I'm rewatching TNG, it's like I'm watching it for the first time as a quote unquote adult because, I was watching it as a child. I had no fucking idea what was going on. I was too fixated on Wesley and, that kind of shit. So
Hmm.
it felt like extra exciting, especially since just having watched Picard, being able
Yeah.
to go back to this, like, really like integral moment to the whole story
Yeah.
was so cool. Um, in the first episode, when they were facing the difficult situation, John was like, "We should probably send all our top people down," and like they do, right? Like
Yeah.
what the
Of
fuck every
course.
time.
This
And
ship's
then
got 1,000 people on it. You're
I
telling me that
know,
none of them are available? They've all phoned in sick?
why don't they have an away team? Why does the away team have to be the people on the bridge at that time?
I know.
Um, and then they landed on the planet and they stopped at that canyon. And I was like, and that's where the stage set ends. And John's like, oh, it's pretty good though. I'm like, well, yeah, for the time. And he's like, what? Like he was kidding. He's like, it looks like a Bob Ross painting. And I'm like, still confused because I'm like, Bob Ross paintings are amazing. What do you mean?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Admiral Hansen. My one question was, how did this difficult homeless man get in here? Like it was so annoying. Just old man's fantasies. Oh. I also
I
thought,
forgot about that with Shelby, right?
yeah,
This
yeah.
old man's fantasies. Like, you might
Old
as well just
man's
fucking honk her butt as she walks out, like fucking
oh,
crab
so
assing.
bad.
Uh,
I thought that this was the season
Gross.
of Wesley. He's so cute. John asked, how do you play poker against a betazoid?
Mm.
And when Picard said fire at will, and Riker's like, Will, what did I do? Um, I have nothing much else to say. The episodes were fantastic. We both wanted to continue watching. The Borg might be the scariest enemy I've ever heard of, other than the Shrike. From a book called Hyperion by Dan Simmons, the Shrike impales people on a metal structure called the Tree of Pain. Tens of thousands of people are alive impaled on the tree. So the Borg are shitty, but the Shrike is probably shittier.
Or the
Anyway,
Reavers.
oh, yeah, Reavers win. Those guys are the worst.
They're the worst.
Anyway, that's what I thought. You?
Um,
You didn't watch this second
I didn't
episode.
watch
Was
no,
that
but
enough?
yeah, no, I love this episode. Like, I mean, I look at my track record with Star Trek and like I watched TNG when it was live, loved it, watched it over and over and over and over and over again, like obsessed as a kid. And then
Yeah.
as an adult, like there'd be times when I'm like, I feel like watching Star Trek. And I usually would always go back to the same like 5 or 6 episodes.
Cause and
And it would
effect
be it would always
every
be
time.
Lower Decks, Genesis, this, and like Rascals.
Oh
And
yeah.
maybe like a Q or like the a Q or a Loxana funny one. Like there was always like
Sure.
this the ones that I would consider like my favorites. And so this is up there as one of my it's phenomenal. It's so good. It's so like although I will say my opinion may have changed now as an adult because I've been thinking it's come back to me a few times that we've been talking.
Hmm.
Fucking Chain of Command, man. I fucking love Chain of Command. That I almost might consider it a better two-parter, especially because I love Jericho,
Jellico,
Quantico, whatever his name is, the guy who takes over
Quantico,
Quantico from the FBI. Uh,
Waco.
wait,
Oh, okay. All
Richard
right.
Grieco. Either way, like I just kept thinking, I compare the two very much. Like they're two very strong. Picard's in danger, and
Yeah.
it's like I like it's Borg Cardassians. You know, who would you do, Predator or
Well, we both already we
yeah,
decided Predator.
yeah,
Um, that was so funny when we were in the comic store and I'm like
yeah.
holding like the xenomorph and like holding Predator. I'm like, which one? Alien or Predator? Predator. Um,
At the same time, I'm like across the store, I'm like Predator.
Predator. It's Predator all the way.
He just needs the
Um,
right girl. I can fix it. Whatever it is. I don't know what
yeah.
gender society they have in the world of Predator.
Who knows? I agree
Um,
with you though that like Chain of Command versus Best of Both Worlds. Hmm.
like I want to watch it right now. Now to start thinking
Yeah,
about it.
it feels a little bit more gritty. Like I
Yeah,
feel like we just saw Picard was suddenly Locutus and we only really saw him as Locutus a little bit.
and this one comes later, so things have evolved. You get butt. I mean, it's got everything. It's got Cardassians. It's got butt. And it's got Richard Grieco as captain.
Captain Greek
Edward Jericho.
Jellico.
Jellico. Yeah, because I think you said Jericho when we recorded as a joke. Either way, I like him.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, no, this was phenomenal. It was a great episode. Wesley at his peak, finest, in his red, doing his thing. He can
I
do no
know.
wrong.
I know.
Breaking hearts,
Proud of
saving
him.
lives. Like,
So
yeah.
proud.
Okay, so we got lots of trivia and goofs and see it or stuff to talk about because this was a double hitter.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do? Would you like to start with some of the trivia and goofs, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, let's do it. Do you want me to start?
Sure.
I like how we're just doing this off the seat of our pants. Wolf 359 is a real star. It is an extremely faint red dwarf, approximately 7.8 light years from Earth, and the fifth nearest star to our sun. I have never heard of this. I have learned something today.
Yeah, that's a
What
fun
are the
fact.
other, what are the fourth, third, and second closest ones? I know the first
Wolf 358, Wolf 357, all the way down.
and the Shrike.
And Shrek.
Um,
Oh God. Uh,
anyway, that's
um,
cool.
yeah, this episode is the first time the Borg's iconic catchphrase "Resistance is futile" is uttered.
I just want to see like some stats on how many bad dreams people had after the Borg were introduced into our universe
Mm,
because like well, I don't know, maybe they really scare me because remember at the convention how in at the experience I like ran away from that one Borg in
yes,
the because I was like this is real.
this
Also
is
he
real.
was coming at me. I was like what
Well,
the hell? This
you know,
episode along with best of I'm going to read the whole thing.
yeah.
This episode, along with Star Trek: The Next Generation, Best of Both Worlds, Part 2, 1990, were listed on TV Guide's 100 Greatest TV Episodes, ranking at number 36. So both episodes
A
made that
hundred
list.
greatest TV episodes of all time, 1990. I have a feeling that if we were to start doing it with new stuff, it might not make the list. When you think
Yeah.
of shows like The Wire, Succession, some
Oh,
of like all these great shows that have, you know,
running through this
True
world.
True Detective, Breaking Bad,
Seinfeld,
Seinfeld, The Office.
American Dad.
Oh, side swipe, Office Corner. I've started to get back into listening to the Office Ladies podcast with Angela and
Okay.
Pam.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like now they have so many, like I'm jumping around to some of my favorite episodes and I just listened to the podcast episode where they had just rewatched Goodbye Toby. And so it's the first one with Holly. It was so good. And then I just
Oh,
listened to the Goodbye Michael. and how hard it was to film and how sad it was with Steve Carell leaving. And I was like, oh my God. But I can't wait now to listen to the ones where Robert California shows up and like,
Oh,
oh, they have so many good little backstories from like
that's
being
so
there.
cool.
It's
I
fun.
still
Yeah.
haven't listened to it, but
Yeah.
that's all right.
I always need something new for when I'm walking the dog.
Oh, good call.
Spoofed is, it's me, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Spoofed in an email which circulated in the early to mid 90s. In the spoof, the Enterprise destroyed the Borg by uploading Microsoft Windows. It can be found online to this day by searching for the phrases Microsoft defeats the Borg or Microsoft versus the Borg.
Did you look it up?
No, I did not. Do you want me to?
I'm looking it up right now.
Uh,
Oh, here it is. It's a lost episodes transcript. I'm not going to write it. It's very long. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to write it. I'm not going to write it either.
no.
Guinan mentions that her planet, along with its civilization, was destroyed by the Borg. This is later mentioned again in Star Trek Generations.
1994.
Oh, good.
Due to ongoing contract negotiations, it was uncertain whether Patrick Stewart would return for future seasons.
Could you imagine?
No, the ambiguous cliffhanger ending seen here could have allowed the show to kill off Picard and alter the command structure of the Enterprise permanently. Stewart opted to return and filmed several more seasons as well as future feature films and spin-offs. Yeah, no
Thank
shit.
God. Yeah,
Thank God.
yeah, no, thank God and no shit.
Yeah.
Um, well, I'm glad that they didn't kill him off because it would have been just as jarring as
Mm,
if they had gone with their idea for Wesley to commit suicide.
right?
So I'm glad that they
Ooh.
didn't do that.
Yeah, this is not a dark
Joyce.
show. Let's keep it light,
No.
folks.
Yeah. The reason for Dr. Crusher's inclusion with the away team who are tasked with attempting to retrieve Picard from the Borg was actress Gates McFadden. She plays Dr. Beverly Crusher. Had mentioned to Pillar, I guess he's a writer, that she
Michael
thought
Pillar.
it would be fun to fire a phaser as the character of Dr. Crusher was rarely, if ever, directly involved in combat situations.
Yeah, well, fast
Uh,
forward to Picard, where she's like opening season 3 as a total fucking badass.
Also, like,
Love that.
if I were the writer, I'd be like, bitch, these Borg can adapt like immediately to phaser fire. Why are you choosing this time
Yeah.
to fire a phaser? It's like the worst time. You will get assimilated. I don't know if you've heard. Resistance is futile, as
They
I
do
like to
that.
say.
A Borg drone beams in near the emergency turbo lift, attacking Riker and Worf. When he beams out, he's near the ready room. Error.
Error. In the initial confrontation with the Borg, Riker orders full reverse. This order is never countermanded yet. When the phasers disable the tractor beam, the Enterprise remains stationary instead of immediately moving backwards.
Oh,
Well,
God.
give them a hot minute to put it in
Yeah,
reverse. It's a whole ship.
I
Beep,
know.
boop, 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 beep, boop, boop.
Gotta
That's
check
just
your
me logging
mirrors.
in.
Make sure there's no one parked behind you.
Big
Um,
time.
right? When Worf approaches Picard on the Borg on the board ship. Good one, Sarah. Actually, this
Uh-huh.
was all copy and pasted from Internet
Oh,
Database.
so they're wrong.
They're wrong. He steps in between Borg drones who don't move to stop him. As the away team starts to beam out, the Borg drones are now gone. Continuity error.
That's
Do do do
wrong.
do do. Oh my
And
God.
finally, during the phaser battle on the Borg ship, a wire can be seen connected to the foot of the drone that Beverly kills.
My
What an idiot.
goodness. Oh God. What did they use? Like the
You're fired.
wire? Fired. Yeah.
Good one.
Okay. This is a see it for sure, obviously. Would
Yeah.
you rather be the person who was assimilated by the Borg or be the person put in charge to deal with the shit sandwich of a situation?
I would 100% be assimilated. Who doesn't want a gun for a hand? I
Right?
don't need to open jars anymore. I could just laser beam them open from my eye. Also, I would be a spy because I wouldn't be able to be fully assimilated for some reason. So it is possible I could become in charge of the ship for good intentions, like towing a ship home that lost power, or I become in charge of the ship for bad intentions, like universal domination. Either or, I am happy. I guess ultimately, I end up doing both. I'm in charge of like the ship, and I'm also assimilated. Yeah.
Also, I'm a ninja.
And also I'm a ninja. What's that from?
Family Guy.
Lonely Island? No.
Family Guy.
Okay, you know what? I'm thinking Roy Rules, which is completely,
Oh, that's from Saturday Night Live, Digital
yeah,
Short.
yeah.
Roy rules. He
Rules
loves to wear
works in
t-shirts.
Roy, won't you come with me?
Roy
Roy
rules.
rules. He works in an office. Oh, anyway, what would you do? Be assimilated or
What
shit
would I
sandwich?
rather?
What would you rather? Yeah, what would you choose? Yeah, what would you
Well,
choose?
they're both
Proceed.
crappy situations because like
They
it's a
are.
lot of pressure, a lot of stress. They're the Borg are
Yeah.
new. They don't know what to do. I don't want to
No.
have to deal with that. Well, maybe if I may I'm the person who was left behind to deal with the shit sandwich, but I actually already had pre-approved vacation, so it's not my problem. I'm in the holodeck just enjoying maybe my last few days before I get
Oh,
yeah, I'm just like,
I
no,
love
I'm
that.
off. Sorry. Can't hear you. My badge is off. It's in a drawer.
Like literally on my way to Riza. Peace.
Yep. Sorry. Good luck. I'll
Best of
check my
luck.
email, but
Lol.
when I get
No.
back.
Yeah.
I want one extra day just to kind of recoup and do my laundry. Oh, so good.
Oh man.
So that was that. That was the best. Is it the best or is it the worst of both worlds? Um,
Mm.
tough to say. So, um, that does it for this episode. I was going to tell the listeners that for the next one, I was going to suggest we go back all the way to the beginning to season one and we do the neutral zone.
Okay, but is that the one with the tar man?
No, that's
Okay, as
Skin of
long as it's
Evil.
not the one with the tar man, I'm willing to do anything.
I am the tar man. Goo goo kajoob. I have some Picard fast facts
I'd love to hear them.
because now we've gone through the series. We
Yeah.
don't have Strange New Worlds yet to discuss. The episode premieres on the 16th, so maybe next time we record, we'll be able to talk about the first episode, perhaps. But I just took a little, of course, Internet Database. Thank you. Just a little digging around, found some stuff. If you have it on your Trello and you want to share these with me, let's do it.
Okay.
Showrunner Terry Matalas stated that Catherine Janeway, Kate Mulgrew, was planned to appear in Seven of Nine's promotion scene, but was cut for budgetary reasons. Darn.
Um, how much was it? Why?
Maybe
Really?
it was the last episode and they were like just penny pinching to get it done. And they're
That's
like,
a
we
bad
have
decision.
$100 left in our money and we need to buy a first aid kit for the set. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's too
I
bad.
just that is too bad. That was a misstep. When Jack arrives on the Enterprise G's bridge to take his post, he jokingly says, "Helm, set a course for the Metallus system, maximum warp." Warp. No, I'm not going to say it. This is a reference to season 3 showrunner Terry Matalas. Look, did Terry Matalas put all these fucking fast facts in here?
Maybe. Beverly Crusher becomes the head of Starfleet Medical, which is a post
Yeah.
she previously held when the character was absent from the second season of Star Trek, The Next Generation, 1987.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Once Jack is fully assimilated as Vox, his Borg implants are in the same location and style as Picard's when he was assimilated as Locutus.
Oh.
And like maybe every other Borg.
Mm,
I don't know.
mm.
When you'd think they would do it all the same. Anyway, so
uh,
judge. Why am I
you're
so
so
judgy?
judgy.
Why am I
Why are
judgy
you
all of a
judgy all of a
sudden?
sudden?
Jeez.
Okay. After the threat of the Borg had been dealt with, the scene of the Enterprise D and Titan A flying over Earth with the sun peeking over the horizon mirrors the scene from Star Trek VI The Undiscovered Country 1991 when the Enterprise A and Excelsior fly over Kittimer.
Oh, that's nice. That's what I thought of. You?
Absolutely. I
I
didn't think of
mean,
an old country
immediately.
western with Ennio Morricone playing in the background or anything.
I didn't think of any other sun peeking over a horizon scene in anything else I've ever
Mm.
seen.
I'm not that quick-witted and or quick to think of these things anymore. I'm getting old.
I just don't. I wasn't a huge fan of the original movies, so
Hmm.
anyway. When Q meets with him, Jack Crusher tells Q that Jean-Luc Picard told him he was dead. To which Q accuses humans, and Jack in particular, of being pedantically linear, the exact same thing he accuses Jean-Luc of in All Good Things 1994.
Oh, good throwback. In
Yeah.
the final pre-credits scene of the crew playing cards, the bird's eye view camera rotates in a way that makes the furniture into a top-down view of the Enterprise. The card table is the saucer, and the empty chairs and lamps become the nacelles.
Really? Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that. That's really cute.
I'm going to go back and look.
Me
I think
too.
that's just great.
I want to go back
Also,
and rewatch the last episode.
oh, the last episode was great. Do you think that they played poker for real?
I think that they probably have played poker for real in real life as friends. I don't think like right there in that moment they were
It
actually
was
trying to
real.
play. They probably have to keep
Yeah.
being like, cut the lighting, cut, there's a bug,
Yeah,
cut, someone
they
has
were
to
acting.
sneeze. They were
True.
acting.
Acting.
Acting! Love it.
When Seven first takes Enterprise G to warp, she's told that she needs a catchphrase by the crew. The scene cuts just before she says it. A possible catchphrase could be Zoom, as Annika Hansen said when she played it with a toy Borg cube in Star Trek Voyager Dark Frontier. I would hope not.
No, because then it just becomes an ad for the thing we're using right
Zoom,
now.
zoom, zoom.
Yeah,
Oh,
zoom, zoom,
zoom.
zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom,
I hope
zoom.
it's something really stupid like zippity doo dah.
Yeah, really. I just
Let's
I
go.
wonder what it was. Are you how did you feel about that they left it out, that they cut it?
I hope she gets a series.
Do you
I would
think?
love, well, everyone's like talking about this idea they have of something called Star Trek Legacy. And people are making like fan like poster art and like Bug and Terry Metalis and like, have a new series and it's bringing in all these different people because Trek is cool again and Trek has
Yeah.
this there's a new energy of writers. I mean, Terry Metalis killed it. Like he knocked this out of the park. His writing was phenomenal. All the people that worked on the show that were writers were phenomenal. The writers of Discovery have been phenomenal. The writers of Strange New Worlds are doing a great job. The
Yes.
the music composition has been beautiful
Yes.
and
Yes.
perfect. And so this caliber of talent, it's this generation that grew up with these shows. They're adults now. They're just as nerdy as we are about it. They want to do it justice. And so the actors are like, this is really good material. I think that's why a lot of people in general are flocking to TV. I mean,
Yeah.
big names are doing TV shows because there are some fabulous writers and
Yeah.
you get to really sink into a character's backstory or depth or whatever. And I think there's a lot of actors from Star Trek who feel like their show was abruptly finished or their
Yeah.
story didn't get told the way they wanted to because 90s and women or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So I could totally imagine that, like, I mean, Kate Mulgrew's already back doing the work she's doing on Prodigy
Oh,
as
good.
Admiral Janeway. And there's people who would love to hear more stuff about what's going on with the Enterprise. Is there stories to tell there? Is there more stories to talk about? Deep Space Nine, it's one of the most beloved series. People would love to know where's Kira? Where's Dr. Bashir? What's going on with them? Like
Well,
we only get a touch of Worf, right? Because he was on Deep
that's
Space Nine.
true. If you're me, you think that Dr. Bashir just goes to Battlestar Galactica because you confuse the two actors.
But really, he
Gaius
went back in
Baltar.
time to Game of Thrones.
Oh
And
yeah, that's right. So handsome.
yeah,
Um,
great show.
yeah.
And you saw the trailer for season 2 of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, it looks great.
It looks really good. I
Yeah.
love how this show is so much like TNG or the original series, which these standalone episodes. In this episode, we're fighting this character or this creature. In this one, something wonky happens. In this one, someone gets a strange disease. And it's like, I like those standalone stories. I mean, of course, there's always going to be arcs of characters and that's going to go throughout, but like
Yeah.
there's some moments in there that look pretty good, including a saucy little kissing makeout session I was wanting to know more about.
Hmm. Yeah,
And the
I am looking
Klingons
forward to it. And the Klingons and
happening.
the robots. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
It's the robots. What's a robot?
Robots.
All right. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Nah.
You're good. You're
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's it. That's all. Thanks for listening. Thanks to 5 Year Mission for the bitchin' tunes, and to the Patreon members and our sponsors, and thank you to everyone else. Just you know who you are. I don't know if anyone's ever rated or reviewed or given stars to this podcast on Apple, so do it if you want or don't, whatever. I just feel like that's something I'm supposed to say.
Everyone says it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Trek Geeks Podcast Network is on Patreon, so go support and listen to their other great, more professional shows, or don't. You like a hot mess? Then here we are. That's all I got. Love you.
That's all we got. Bye.
And as I like to say, to infinity and beyond.
As I like to say, till next time.
Apparently. As you like to say.
That's true.
Coconut.